The main thing that black women miss the trick on is that black men already know that black women only date black men generally. So it's like I'd say it's like a 90% split. Maybe 10% might date outside, 90% only go for black men. So that means we already know your hand. So we already know, oh, you need this, you need that, you need blah 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 blah. But actually, you're only gonna date me. So me existing, I'm already good enough. Not realistically, but I mean, as in you're only gonna select from me, and there's no real way I'm gonna lose you because you're not gonna look anywhere else.
Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and talk about a series of TikTok videos sent to me, and these videos are in reference to marriage. So I'm going to say right now, for anybody who is triggered by the reality of marriages, especially as it applies to black marriages, and you really want to believe a fantasy instead of reality, you can click off the video now and just go watch another video. This video is actually more in reference to a woman trying to get a bandit to marry her. And you guys know I've been talking about marriage quite a bit, specifically the way in which black women promote marriage. And I want to say this right now. There is nothing wrong with you wanting to desire marriage. There is a certain level of stability, both financial and otherwise, security, and other benefits that are allegedly attached to marriage. And I do think that some of those benefits can come out of that. Like, for example, some people want to know that they have a lifelong partner who's tied to them. There are opportunities for building wealth, even though that's not something that's happening in the black community. You do have a partner, allegedly, that is you against the world, somebody who's going to support you, that you can come home to. Those are all the things that should be included in marriage. And for some people, that is included in marriage, but for most people, regardless to race, is not. How do we know that? Well, because the divorce rate is very high and less people are wanting to get married, especially women of all races are starting to opt out and decline marriage because marriage is not beneficial to them. There have been many studies come out that has stated that marriage poses a detriment to women, black women specifically, based on the foundation of marriage. Marriage was not created for love. Marriage was not created for family stability. Marriage was created for wealth and keeping the wealth in certain families as well as political power. When marriages first became an institution, they were arranged marriages. This new form of marriage where you're marrying for love and choosing your mate is fairly new and is very unsuccessful. Even to this day, arranged marriages last longer than marriages in which you're picking your own partner. I wanted to give some context on that because I feel like specifically in the black community, we view marriage as a fairy tale. And understand, for the people who get triggered, I'm not telling anybody not to get married. If marriage is a goal for you, then you should seek out to accomplish that goal. What I'm here to do is point out why you should not engage in this type of behavior that you're going to see in this video in order to become married. And when we talk about black women specifically, the data says black women are the least to get married and the first to get divorced. That doesn't mean it's because black women are incapable of being good wives and don't know how to maintain relationships. It means the males that you want to marry are not the right males that you should be marrying. How do we know that? Well, because there are black women who are in interracial relationships, specifically with men of no color, and those relationships last longer than any relationship dynamic, even the dynamic between men of no color and women of no color. So it's very clear that when Black women open up their options and allow other men to love them, they have better results. However, as it stands, most Black women still want to marry bandits, unfortunately. And these bandits are the bandits who are the least committal, the most likely to cheat, the most likely to have extramarital affairs, the most likely to bring diseases back to their wives, the most likely to abandon their marriage, the most likely to lay down and slum in the household and not help with their marriage. Overall, if you look at the data, Black marriages have the lowest marriage quality rate and the highest infidelity rates. So there's a lot to be said about Black marriages specifically, yet this is something that is promoted to our community, especially to the women, and more specifically marriage to Black men, even though Black men cannot offer them anything except dick, ball, and dust within a marriage. According to Pew Research, when Black women marry Black men, they are trapping themselves in a situation where they will be rooted to poverty. Why? Because bandits are the nothing ass bitches of society. They are stagnant and comfortable in their stagnancy. They would prefer to be nothing ass bitches than to get up and compete with other men, which is necessary in order to gain resources. This is something that all male groups have done and continue to do. However, bandits somehow think they're exempt from male competition, and the reason being is because Black women will not open up their options. So now, because Black women refuse to open up their options but still want to get married, they are giving a level of power to bandits that they should not have and that is being exploited. Bandits do not value marriage. They say it all the time. They don't value family. They show it all the time. They don't value fatherhood. We know that because they abandon their children regardless to the race of the mother. Yet Black women are still desperately focused on getting married. It just is what it is. And what I want to do is I want to show you guys a video that highlights the literal level of desperation of Black women and how they will go through any extent, any level of embarrassment just to obtain a marriage so that they can say that they're married. Why am I saying that they just want to say that they're married? Well, because that's literally all they're accomplishing. Statistically, they're not building stronger families. They're not building wealth. After you cannot build wealth with a bum. You can't build wealth when you're marrying for love, although some people do gain wealth even though they're marrying for love, but that's not within the Black community. They're not getting married to build functional families because they're marrying males who don't believe in families. So it's looking like the only reason Black women want to get married is so that they can say they have a husband and quite possibly flex on the next woman.
If you've been considering homeschooling or feel your child is not thriving in public school, consider the Zyx Institute. This is a STEM-based Afro-centered educational program for Black youth. Children can attend daily classes online or in the classroom at one of their 2 New York-based facilities. You can also make a tax-deductible donation to this nonprofit organization using PayPal, or you can donate via GoFundMe using the links in the description box. So go to thezyxinstitute.org and enroll your child today.
But I want to show you this video here. It's a series of videos actually from a woman on TikTok who is really desperate to get this man to marry her. And then when I come back, I want to talk about what stood out to me the most in this video. I do want to say, no, I am not married. No, I have never been married, but I don't need to be married to comment on a situation with a woman who's desperate for marriage. Because at the end of the day, marriage is simply another relationship dynamic. It is a contractual relationship dynamic, but it's still a relationship nonetheless. And men have a certain pathology, as do women. Men should not be chased. They should be doing the chasing. And if you look all throughout the animal kingdom and in nature, you'll see males competing for females. In the Black community, that dynamic is reversed. The women chase after males who have nothing to offer them and who trap them into impoverished, unhappy situations. And that's because Black women have been taught to chase what does not benefit them. They've been taught to be ride or dies and have undying one-sided loyalty to males who are not loyal to them. But before we get into that, I do want to give a shout out and thanks to everyone who contributes to the content on this channel. If you would like to contribute, you can do so by emailing me. The email is in the description box and pinned to the comment section. thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. When you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to all notifications so you'll know every time I go live and when I upload new content. Now, I do want to let you guys see these videos because there are the few of them. I want you guys to look at her behavior and her mannerism. Also, take note of the male in this video, his manners, his demeanor, and then ask yourself, who is in the masculine position in this situation? Because one of the criticisms that black women get is being too masculine and wanting to be in the role of the man. Now, we already know normally that's a bunch of dusty trash bag bandit, gaslighting and deflecting. But the reality is here that black women, number one, have been forced to be in the masculine position because bandits refuse to and are literally putting on dresses, skirts, wigs, and makeup so they can become women and nest comfortably in the feminine position. So clearly being in a masculine position is nothing they're interested in, and they're not masculine anyway. They're feminized, nothing ass bitches, which is really not a good look for males. But when you have no pride, you have no shame, so this is how you operate. But at the end of the day, if bandits were willing and capable of stepping up to the mantle of manhood and being masculine, black women will be able to rest in their femininity, and they are not. So when you look at these videos, look at these dynamics, and then when I come back, I'll talk about what stood out to me and we'll get into this discussion. Go ahead and look at these videos. I'll come back for further commentary.
But I'm not proposing to you. It's more of a will you marry me because we're not getting younger type of thing.
And that's the reason.
But why won't you marry me? What? Tell me why.
Listen, let me talk, man. I told you a million times, folks. It's gonna lose a lot, bro, with marriage, man.
Like
everything is gonna be on us. It's gonna be more people in our business. Your little link card for that shit gonna be gone, bro.
How?
All that's gone, bro. All that's gone. Everything is gonna be strictly on us. Well, on me.
So you telling me?
On me, basically.
So you telling me I'll never be married if you are the guy that I want to spend the rest of my life with? And y'all are about to piss me off. Nobody's begging this man to marry me. It's more of a reminder, like, why haven't you popped the question type of thing? But nobody's begging him to marry me. No, we are on the same page. He doesn't want to get married because he feel like marriage is like the whole little thing is a scam to have like the government in your business or whatever. And then he told me that he don't think I'm ready for marriage because he said that he think that I'm too childish right now. I haven't grown up, which I don't know how I'm childish, but what does that mean when a guy won't propose to you or like get married to you because he said that he doesn't believe in marriage, but that's the guy you want to spend the rest of your life with and you believe in marriage and your parents are married, like, but he doesn't believe in marriage or wants to get married? Like, what does that mean?
It means that he does not believe in marrying you. It means that he does not want to marry you. It means he does not see you as his wife. It means he does not see himself being your husband. It means he does not see himself being with you forever. It means he does not want to make a commitment to you under God or in the courts where you're legally bound to each other, because he does not see himself being married to you. You're not the first. You're not the last woman. This has happened generation after generation after generation. I just hope that you don't give him years of your life hoping that his answer will change, because it won't. And if he does marry you, it's going to be out of resentment, out of spite, and because he feels he has to keep you quiet, not because he wants to be your husband. And do not try and overthink why.
Now, you guys saw those videos, and listen, we got to get into this clown shit because This woman isn't just representing herself. Unfortunately, she's representing a lot of the women in the community. And I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm just talking about a mindset. And the mindset is this desperation for marriage with males who are not equipped to be in that position. Because what we saw here was a woman desperate to be married just so that she can be married, because the situation that she wants to marry into is not a situation where she's going to have a stable, functional household. She's not going to build up any type of wealth. She's not going to have a stable father for her children. So this is literally just a woman wanting to get married just so she can get married and possibly go flex on other women and say she had a husband and then program his name into her phone as husband. And apparently this is something that quite a few black women do, because when I mentioned that on my live stream, a lot of black women got into the comment section saying they also program their husband's names in their phone under husband. I don't understand that. He has a government name. And what you're basically trying to convince me is that possibly you have a bunch of men in your phone who has the same name, so you wouldn't be able to know which one of them is your husband, or you forgot your husband's name. There literally is no reason to program your husband's name in your phone as husband unless you got a bunch of men in there who got the same name and you don't want to confuse them. At the end of the day, this is a level of desperation. But let me break down this situation that she's in, because I hope y'all noticed everything. If you didn't, I took some notes. Now let's get into this. Number one, this is a woman who knows that this man does not want to marry her. Because she knows he doesn't want to marry her, hasn't proposed to her, hasn't made any step towards marrying her, she's now pressuring him to do so. And this is likely why this mentality that a lot of black women have, to where if you don't marry me, I'm just going to pressure you to. This is why we have a lot of videos popping up where black women are getting on their knees proposing to men who don't want to marry them, looking foolish, stepping into that masculine role and not having an issue doing so. If a man does not want to marry you or does not value marriage, which this man already told her what he thinks about marriage, he thinks that is going to lead to the government being in their business. He thinks it's a setup. Basically the same dusty mentality that all of these bandits have towards marriage, even though they benefit from marriage more than any other male group do. But she knows that he doesn't want to get married, and she knows what he thinks about marriage. But rather than moving on, releasing him back to the streets and getting a man who does value marriage and wants marriage and isn't going to sit here and waste her time, she's trying to pressure him into doing it. Another thing I noticed is that she's very immature and childlike. Like, she literally gave him a pancake proposal and it looked like a 3-year-old created it. I don't know if y'all saw that. She's trying to force a situation that this man does not want to be in with her. She's likely been in a long-term relationship with him, playing the role of the wife without the title or the ring. And I feel like that because she said they're not getting any older. So she didn't just meet this dude and she didn't just get into a relationship with him, nor did she just find out how he felt about marriage. A lot of black women do this as well, thinking you're going to change this bandit's mind, wasting a lot of your time, thinking you're going to outdo every other woman, when in reality you should be setting a timetable. First of all, you should already know when you go into the relationship what this man thinks about marriage, if that's something that you want. If his mindset towards marriage doesn't align with yours, why would you be wasting time with him? Then you need to put a timestamp on it. Either 2, 3, 5 years, that should be the max amount of time. And I'm not saying that amount of years, you will establish it for yourself, but you will need to establish an amount of time that you're going to invest in that relationship before you walk away if it doesn't progress to where you want it to go. And a lot of women don't do that because at the end of the day, they think the man is the prize, so they're just fortunate to be anywhere with him. They'll waste a whole lot of their time, then they'll be old, then they'll be aged out of the dating game, and then they'll be alone because they just attached themselves to this struggle bandit who they allowed to waste their time. I want y'all to know the biggest thing to me that I don't know if y'all caught on to though, because this bandit believes that marriage will be a loss to him. That is the first thing he said. We would lose a lot if we get married. Now, typically people are supposed to gain when they get married. I don't know if this bandit read over the Brookings Institute report where black women do lose when they get married, but he believes marriage will cause a loss to him. I don't know if y'all heard the background noise or not, but they have children. They have children and they appear to be on welfare. So this is not a provider, because when he was listing the cons of getting married, he said, oh, we go have to do everything on our own. That wig, that link card, that's go away. I looked up what a link card is, and I don't know if they're in Chicago or not, but a link card is Chicago's EBT card. So this woman is on welfare with those children. He's not a provider, yet she's forcing this man who is not a provider to be in a marriage with her. And this is why I say black women are not getting married so that they can have providers and build wealth. Because if she's on welfare, that means he's not a provider. She is his provider, and he doesn't want to step into that role. So not only that, but he would prefer to live off of her welfare benefits than potentially lose them by marriage. They are not in any position to be married as they are dependent on other people. He said that we will have to do everything on our own if we get married, implying that they are dependent on someone other than the government as well. So this whole situation is ghetto and raggedy. They probably live in a project, because she's sitting up here on welfare and WIC with a bandit who don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of unless it's hers, yet she's begging him to marry her. And he also looks at marriage as more work that he will have to engage in, and he doesn't want to do that. He thinks the responsibility for the family will shift from the government to him, and he doesn't want the obligation of having a wife and committing to a marriage or a family. And what's so interesting is that bandits are running around talking about welfare, put them out the home, yet you got a whole woman in here obviously on welfare if she's getting WIC and an EBT card, and there's a bandit in the house not doing nothing. And this is what was happening back in the day. Bandits were living in the homes of these women who were getting welfare. When the welfare check happened in the small amount of states that they were actually doing that in, the bandit will leave and then come back. So welfare never put them out of the home. They put themselves in the home, went to somebody else's home, and created some kids that they could not provide for. This is what bandits have been doing forever, and the dynamic hasn't changed because black women haven't changed. Why are you letting this liability, this nothing ass bitch who don't even want to marry you, don't got a pot to piss in, and if he do got a pot to piss in, he using yours and throwing it out of your window, and you sitting up here pressuring this man into marrying you, and he don't even want to marry you. Got kids with him. It could be his kids or another man's kids, we don't know, but there were kids in the background, so she got some kids in there while she on WIC and welfare, trying to pressure this bandit to marry her. And yet y'all keep telling me that marriage is going to build these strong black families and wealth. You ain't building no wealth off of WIC and welfare with a bandit who broke and ain't got nothing to offer you and don't even want to marry you. So this is 100% indicative of the dynamic in the black community and why black women don't benefit from marriage. Should she be trying to marry this bandit, or should she be releasing him back to the street? Yet she's trying to force him to be what he's not and do what he's not ready to do, which is be a husband. Rather than move on to a man who does want marriage and marriage to her, she wants to force him to marry her. And then in the video responses, she's saying she's not trying to force him to marry him. When the man says no, he's not interested in marriage, and you keep pressuring him, talking about why you don't want to spend the rest of your life with me. This ain't no proposal, but we ain't getting no older. You are trying to force him, and he keeps telling you over and over this ain't what he wants. So at what point do you release him back to the street? But then the final thing that stood out to me is that in another video, because you guys saw her video responses wrapped up in all of the delusional, childish clown shit that it is, she said that he doesn't want to marry her because he thinks she's too childish, which she is. You can tell she's very childish. First of all, what type of grown woman is making a pancake proposal? That's first and foremost. Secondly, she's sitting up in a video like a little kid, kiki cackling. She doesn't even know what it means when a man tells you he's not interested in marriage. So for him to think that she's too childish, even though he's not even in a position to be a provider to those kids in that house, is very telling. But she is childish. And then she said he thinks the government will be in their business. But notice how they're on welfare, so the government is already in their business. What he does not want, because there is no marriage enforcement police, so nobody's coming in the business of married people. They try to say this with child support too, but at the end of the day, child support ain't even enforced. Because if child support was really enforced like that, bandits wouldn't be running around creating more kids that they can't provide for. But there is no government entity that gets into the business of married couples. What he does not want is the accountability that comes with a marriage. He doesn't want the obligation to a family or a wife. That is what he's really saying. I don't want the obligation, and then if I don't meet that obligation and you go to court and divorce me, I don't want the government in my business when you divorce me, because upon a divorce, they are going to be in your business, because you have to divide up assets, where the kids go. He ain't got no assets, so that would be something easy. She obviously don't either. All she got is a WIC and a link card, so that would be an easy divorce. But he ain't trying to be in this marriage with her, and she's sitting up here looking like boo-boo the damn fool, thinking that this man do. And unfortunately, this is a lot of black women's situation, and that's why I'm showing it to you guys. I'm not coming from judgment. I'm coming and saying the way in which you promote marriage, the way in which you approach marriage is inconsistent. Because if you're saying you're doing this to build wealth and build families, then you should only be trying to marry men. Then you should only be trying to marry men who have wealth and who value family, not some bum that got you sitting up here on WIC and welfare and don't value marriage, think it's a burden, don't got a pot to piss in, ain't trying to be a husband or a father. And that's who she's trying to marry. Because the reality is there's something in black women's mind that marriage symbolizes, and that's what they're chasing. And it doesn't symbolize at all what they're saying that it symbolizes. It doesn't symbolize strong families. It doesn't symbolize stability. And even if it did, it's not producing it for them, because they're not trying to marry the right type men. What black women need to do is get off of this blackness and get into your womanness. Go find the best man for you who can provide to you what you want, because at this point, whether you want money, marriage, stability, fidelity, loyalty, you're not going to get that from black men. Obviously, those are the things that black men don't value. So when are black women going to realize that you and black men are not compatible, and the only thing you have in common is your black skin? I know black women have an obsession with their own blackness, but you can still be obsessed with your own blackness and go be happily married with another man who values marriage and family. Stop valuing bandits and their black skin above all else. And this is why I call it black male worship, because look at the situations black women will put themselves in just to be tied to a bandit. A bandit who has absolutely nothing to offer her and ain't even trying to get nothing to offer her. Do y'all know how long he probably sat up in that house with that woman while welfare provide for some kids that are potentially his, and he ain't went out and got himself in a better financial position so he can be a provider? And that's why he doesn't want to be married, because he's a failed male and he knows it. But you guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these videos. Just a hot ghetto mess. Like, this is not the man that she should be trying to marry. This ain't the man that anybody should be trying to marry, yet she's chasing him like he's a prize. Whatever you guys think, get in the comments and let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. When you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to all notifications so you'll know every time I go live and when I upload new content. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.
She talked about you, about what you do, but where her man at though?